Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leigha. Thank you so much for stopping by. In today's video, we're going to be doing my first update to the Duty Pan My Battleship project pan, so if you're interested in seeing that, then just keep on watching. Before we get into that though, if you're new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video from me. Alright you guys, so we are finally doing the first update to my Duty Pan My Battleship project pan. This is a project created by Kooky Pants on Instagram and Paula from A Beauty Guru Made Me Do It. I will link their channels down below, as well as Leah, who I am doing this project with. Back in December, she asked me if I wanted to join up to do the Duty Pan My Battleship project pan, and I said absolutely, 100% yes. So what we did is we made a palette made out of a bunch of indie single shadows. We both are really big fans of indie singles. We have a lot of single shadows, and we put together a palette, and then we shared the palette with each other, and we placed battleships on each other's palettes. If you want to see where Leah placed the battleships on my palette, watch her video, and if you want to see where I placed her ships on, where I placed my ships on her palette, words are hard, watch my intro to see where I placed it at the end of the video. I did share that, so neither of us have hit pan yet, but we are working on it, and so we're just gonna go one by one, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of an update. Alright, so I will pop up right now what my palette looked like when I rolled it in, and this is what my palette is looking like now. There's a mess over here. I will put shadows from other projects that I'm working on over here just so they're all contained in one palette, so I had some messy shadows, but this is what the palette is looking like. There's definitely some dips, and again, there's definitely no pan quite yet, but I am working on it, so I thought I would just go through and tell you how many uses I had on each of the shadows, kind of my thoughts going forward, and kind of what my next plan of attack. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just put a picture on top and kind of so I don't have to like hold the palette up while I'm talking about each of the shades, and we'll just go through one by one. So first I have the shade Zorina from Divina Cosmetics, and I have used that 7 times. There is a little bit of a dip forming, but definitely a long way to go. Then I have the shade Earthshine from Divina Cosmetics. Beautiful, like sage green metallic. Only used that twice, like I said. If I already said that, I don't know if I did. But that is, I have 2 of this formula in this palette, and that is going to take a long time. You only need the tiniest amount for these Divina shadows. Next, I have the shade Rainbow Blossom from Divina Cosmetics, and I have also used that twice, so I've been focusing on some of the other greens in the palette, so I just haven't touched that one yet, but I've used that twice, and hopefully I will continue to use it a little bit more. Then we have the shade Chandelier from Cleona, and I have used that 9 times, and there's definitely a dip forming now. Hopefully you can see it in the picture, but I have a dip going, and it's not like a drill down hole that I can sometimes have with iridescent shades. It's a nice sized one, so yeah, happy with that. I mean, I've got a long way to go to hit pan on that Cleona shade, but yeah, primarily using that as an inner corner highlight. Then I have the shade Grindstone from Dandelions, and I have used that 3 times, and there's a bit of a dip forming, but I definitely think because the shadow is so pigmented and there's a lot of kick up that I'll sometimes pick up the kick up when I go in with it. There's a long way to go on that matte shade, but yeah, I was hoping to use that matte a little bit more than I did, so hopefully I can focus on that a little bit more. Then I have the shade Lynx from Divina, and that is, I had 3 uses on that, so there's a dip forming, but I still have quite a bit to go to hit pan on that. That shade actually, Leah and I both have in our palette. And then I have the shade Runaway from Lethal Cosmetics. This is probably the Lethal matte that I have the most progress in. You can see a little bit of a dip forming, and I have used that 8 times. I used it a lot. I'm working on a lot of greens, so it is one that I was able to get quite a bit of use out of, so happy with that so far. Definitely, the Lethal mattes are going to be hard to hit pan on, like all the mattes I rolled in, so we're working on it. Then I have the shade Lucent Ray from Divina. Again, that's a similar formula to Earthshine. It's their Moonscapes collection. I've only used that once, and again, that's going to be a really hard shadow to hit pan on, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Next, we have the shadow that probably has the most progress, even though I haven't used it the most, and that is Abracadabra from Glam Shop, and I have used that 3 times, but I think I'm like probably 2 to 3 uses away from hitting pan. It's just, I mean, I'm not like intentionally trying to use a lot. I guess I've been able to make a pretty big dip in it. So yeah, that's pretty exciting, and that'll be my first shadow. So maybe I'll post on Instagram maybe when I hit pan on it, and we can find out there if it's a hit or a miss. Next, I have the shade Genesis from Lethal. I've used that 5 times. It barely looks like I've used it. I'm gonna need a miracle to hit pan on Genesis. This is such a firmly pressed shadow. I have no idea how I'm gonna hit pan in the shadow. It's gonna take like all freaking year. So yeah, 5 uses on that. Barely looks like I've used it. So need to step up my game there. Then in the next row, I have the shade Lineage from Cleona, and I've only used that once. Long way to go on that. Probably should have picked a more neutral Cleona shade to add into here, but that's okay. And then I have the shade Sour Sphinx from Divina. I've used this 6 times. I've used it on the inner corner as well as a topper, and when I'm using it that way, I just don't use a lot, so I think this Divina shade is going to take quite a while to hit pan on, but I'm working on it. Next, I have the shade Replica from Lethal Cosmetics, and there's a little bit of a dip forming, but I've used that 5 times, and I'm just plugging along on it. Again, these Lethal mattes are going to take quite a while. Next up, I have the shade Swindle from Glam Shop. This is one of their marble shades, and I have used this one once, so again, long way to go for that. Then I have the shade Messier from Divina, and this has a little tiny bit of a dip forming, not much, and I've used that one time. Then I have the shade Cygnus from Divina, and I've only used that one once. That's going to be the challenge shade because it's a shadow I don't wear that often. But I did enjoy it the one time I used it, so need to step up my game there. Then I have the shade Carving from Cleona, and I've used that 4 times, although I feel like I used it more. We've got a dip forming, which is really exciting. I would say maybe a little shallower. Is that the right word? It's not as big of a dip as Chandelier from Cleona, but there's definitely a dip forming, and I've used it on its own. I've used it as a topper. It's a great multi-purpose shade. And then I have the shade Sprinkle Whips from Divina, and I have used that 4 times. So there's maybe a small dip forming, but really not much there. Then I have the shade Release from Lethal Cosmetics, and I feel like I don't see a dip. I feel like I keep forgetting where I'm trying to focus my brush, and so I'm just getting some use on it, but not like a ton. So yeah, that's the progress on that. I used that 3 times if I haven't said already. And our last shade, we have Puffles from Divina, and I have used that 8 times as well. And there's definitely a dip forming in that one. And maybe I'll have pan by the next update in that one because I have been wearing a lot of purple. I didn't use it today for this purple look, but I've been wearing a lot of purple, so that pairs with those looks really, really well. So that is my progress, and then I'm just going to show it up as a video so you can kind of get a sense of the dips. This is what we're working with. You can kind of get an idea of the depth of the dips going on here. So yeah, progress is happening. I feel like this is more challenging than pan those shadows because there are so many shadows to choose from. I can only use so many, and I'm balancing shadows that are in other projects and just using shadows on their own that are not in any projects at all. So it's definitely been a challenge, but I'm having fun with it. I'm excited to see when I hit pan in Abracadabra right here, if that is a hit or a miss. As for strategy, I really don't know what to do because I need to know. I think I need to know if Abracadabra is a hit or a miss, and then I can kind of go from there. I'm still trying to hit pan on Puffles and Chandelier because those are iridescent shades, and I don't know if those will have ships on them because they're easier to hit pan on. I mean, chandelier is going to take a long time. But those will just give me an idea, even if they're misses, once I start hitting more pans, where a ship might stop or not be, you know, like it'll help me in that regard. So I think my goals are to definitely hit pan on Abracadabra. I really want to get some more use on Genesis because it's going to be so freaking hard. That's what she said. So goal-wise, just to summarize, hit pan in Abracadabra. I would like to hit pan in Puffles and work on Lynx a little bit more. Yeah, I'm really happy with where I'm at, and I don't know what else to say. So, I'm gonna just end it here. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you today. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'm really excited to see what Leigha's progress looks like so far. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!